All right, good morning. So in this presentation, I'll be talking about design and identity of the course, and my topic, gender and sexuality in the design field, and I'll be doing a comparative analysis between each of the week's oblogs. First, when I think of design, I think of the word intent. What the meaning or the purpose is that the designer is trying to display in a variety of forms to its intended audience what they're trying to convey across. As shown in the large picture of the rainbow flag, this large symbolic flag, which connects the city of Key West to its LGBTQIA+ community, symbolizes unique qualities of the city's unity and sense of interconnectedness, as 3,000 or more people held this flag to symbolize hope and acceptance as the community opened its arms down the historically famous Duval Street of Key West. Being the world's largest flag created by the person Gilbert Baker, who created the first rainbow flag in 1978, allowed a sense of interconnectedness as the community of people from all around the world gathered on the street held this large handmade flag. On the end closest to us is the Atlantic Ocean, while the other end is the Gulf of Mexico, connecting this element that the LGBTQIA+ community is connected and supported across the world, even from such a small island as Key West. This was the intent of Gilbert to feel a sense of pride and freedom and to allow us, enveloped by a local Key West organization known as One Human Family, which stands by these values. We are all different and unique. We are all of equal value. We are all created to work together. And although we appear separate, we are all linked to and a part of each other. This is how design can be interpreted through gender and sexuality in the design field. And next, we'll be going to gender and sexuality in writing systems, and I used an advertisement by Yankee Candle to represent this. So, through the usage of typography in the design world, it really does affect us more than we generally think. It defines elements of stereotyping in so many genres and areas. How we consider something to look wealthy, weak, strong, delicate, and so much more. In this example shown, however, the usage of bold font typography has been incorporated as an essential element of design advertising specialists in the way they manipulate general public to buy items. Like other candle brands around the time of 2015 and later, the advertisement departments of Yankee Candle created a series of scents that could be described as manly scents that portrayed elements of masculinity based off of a smell. This preconceived/prejudiced notion enveloped by the general public makes some of these items to have humorous elements, while others find it as an attack or extremely directed towards the gender discrepancies of this course. Um, Through the usage of large font displayed allows the viewer to have the feeling of a manly presence, as the old preconceived notion of the man being the head of the household still stands a place in the design font industry. It further symbolizes gender isolation and creates a differing opinion between consumers and gender and sexuality activists through the question of how do writing systems communicate identity. Next, we'll be talking about how gender and sexuality is a part of in materials and methods through stereotyping movie preferences. So, shown on the left is the movie John Wick, and on the right is the Notebook. Both movies display ideas that trigger the spark in the minds of the intended audience as they relate to either men or women, in which they either encase the ideas of a very intense movie full of action and intensity or a love story for a few examples. Um, this stereotype is associated through companies on Netflix. They design your feed originally based on gender, and then later they tailor to your liking and preferences to keep viewers intrigued. Through the usage of materials and methods in the design process, designers such as the ones in these large-scale companies in the filmmaking industry consistently strive to what their viewer wants to see in a movie. Assumptions towards gender, I have realized through further research and a general poll across friends and peers, would be that guys watch super intense action movies and girls watch sappy love movies as a general stereotype. This theory also has scientific evidence linked to it as the viewer dependent on the movie type and the hormones produced dependent on the sex allows individuals to respond differently towards the movie. However, despite this, if I go up to one of my best friends who is a girl and my roommate who's a male, they both have the complete opposite taste in movies compared to one another. Therefore, further breaking the stereotype and further defying the misconceptions of gender and sexuality in the design field. Next, we'll be talking about gender and sexuality through the impact of color and their stereotypes that link to it. The human species in this day and age is not divided by just male and female persons, as there is a larger and more expansive variety of the differing genders on this earth. According to Healthline.org, there's approximately 64 genders that a person can identify as, so stereotyping a boy with blue toys and a girl with pink toys at such a young age truly defines us as humans and without the ability to express our own understanding of ourselves rather than understanding what it truly means to have a sense of identity with color associations that were made in the rainbow flag that was created in 1978 has allowed us to further continue the awareness of the growing LGBTQIA plus community with this idea of symbolism through the design process developed by Gilbert Baker, who was discussed in the first topic with the flag in Key West, Florida. We are now more than ever able to grasp its powerful elements that not only provide but envelop a sense of pride that is unique to a way a person is feeling. Okay, with this in mind, I'm going to do a comparative analysis of all of these four topics. So throughout each of these weeks, I've been able to have a different interpretation on how much the designers of our built and created environment play a role in our daily lives. Being a gay male that grew up in Key West and just in the last year built up enough courage to come out to friends and family through elements such as the Pride Festival in my hometown of Key West, and through elements that don't define a person through the usage of stereotypes, allowed me to interpret the sense of what identity truly in the design field is. Whether it be through something as simple as colors of the rainbow flag, giving others a sense of hope and pride in the community of acceptance in the LGBTQIA plus community, all have meanings as in there is not two types of genders, nor is there two types of people on this earth that are exactly the same. Although these images might not be correlated in some ways in which they all might not have the rainbow flag, um, they do symbolize something that really does have a comparative understanding to one another, as the Notebook and John Wick are and the man candles are both ads for movies, but they display stereotypes in the field of gender and sexuality through personal assumptions toward preferred genres in movies and the scent and typography that would be represented of a man to display um, the scent with a man to display this selling technique in the overarching market that our world and country sits in today. Overall, design affects more than what we think and know, and will continue to shape the way we view and interpret things. But it is up to you to determine whether the stereotypes enlisted by these designers um, will be further examined by you or denied, dependent on your understanding of these pressing issues in the world around us. Well, that's all I have. So thank you.